Hey everybody, Harry here to talk about a topic that's going to become nauseatingly familiar, and you've already heard too much about: Hunter Biden's laptop. Now, let's come out of the box with a pretty big development overall in this sorry long-standing tale. As you've got to be aware, people on the Republican side have been pillaring Hunter Biden for years. Very hard, even confusing to know what it's all about. Something to do supposedly with maybe improper business practices, trying to influence foreign governments, etc. Hunter has had a very concerted strategy of keeping his head down and trying not to, ruffle feathers. This, as by the way, a U.S. attorney from Trump days, a Trump appointee who was held over for this very reason, has been conducting a criminal investigation since like 2019, 2020. All right. Hunter Biden, probably has conferred with the White House, which doesn't like this strategy much, but everyone else does it. Why not him? He clearly has decided to switch courses and go aggressive against his attackers. The first sure sign is he's hired a guy named Abbe Lowell. Abbe Lowell is an extremely well-respected Washington defense attorney, would be on anybody's list of top 3 or 5 to think about. But he is also aggressive, and he sent earlier this week a whole bunch of really saber-rattling letters saying that different people who had looked at messages of Hunter Biden's had violated criminal prohibitions against snooping in or hacking computers, saying that Tucker Carlson, who said on Fox that Hunter was basically laundering money and paying his rent, getting an improper loan from Biden, who, of course, let's remember, is the real target here, but there doesn't seem to be a there. But anyway, that turned out to be flatly false, and others have retracted it. He paid his own rent, fair and square, etc. Tucker Carlson has yet to retract it, so one of Abbe Lowell's letter was to them and Fox saying, "We're going to sue you for defamation," which ought to be a delicate topic for Fox since they're being sued for over $1 billion by Dominion voting systems. And it seems like a suit, that Dominion one, with serious prospects of succeeding. But anyway, they came out of the box with 5 or 6 detailed letters with footnotes, making clear that they're really changing strategy. And as a lawyer, having been in this position, basically you start with honey and go to vinegar, but once you've gone to vinegar, there's no going back. So this is the Hunter Biden we're going to see, including in the first hearing of the Oversight Committee, which now has been noticed for February 8th, where they're going to tell a story involving Hunter Biden's laptop. That's something like this. Rudy Giuliani gets a hold of the emails from there. He sends them to the New York Post, which runs a story about it. And Twitter, thinking that it might be Russian disinformation, decides to block its propagation on Twitter. Twitter has since said they shouldn't have done that. They're wrong. It was newsworthy and legit. So that's the little story that the House Oversight Committee is going to seek to tell, and that Democratic members of the committee, this won't be like the January 6th committee, all Republicans. The Democrats are showing up, including in some force, like Jamie Raskin and AOC and Katie Porter and the like. All right, so we're going to have our first hearing on this, and the newly aggressive Hunter Biden is going to be the one in the witness chair if he is called. It's not clear he will be. They may be waiting to harass him more. But I want to talk generally now about the complications for Hunter Biden of going aggressive. There's the risk that there always was of giving this a higher profile, maybe being less likable. Think of, say, maybe the classic instance of the angry, I guess I could say an angry white man defense with Brett Kavanaugh that, really turned a lot of people off and yet seemed to do the trick in front of the Senate. So Biden takes this stance, and as I suggested, there's no turning back. Now, one reason he's laid low is because didn't want to bring visibility. That becomes a moot point now, right? The visibility is in the hands of the House Republicans. They don't have even that much else to talk about. This whole business dates, many years ago anyway, and they haven't been able to bring charges yet. But no hope trying to keep it quiet. And so that's one reason also supporting the aggressive strategy. But it is tricky because he is going to be, on the one hand, this public figure pilloried in the court of public opinion by House Republicans, but more importantly, a potential criminal defendant. And that's really the ball he wants to keep his eyes on. He's had in many ways, a sort of miserable public life that he has crawled back from. And I'm sure he wants nothing more than to have a quiet, regular, unnotorious life going forward. And the biggest problem is staying out of jail, it seems to me. All right. But notice these are, the classic, it used to be that lawyers kept clients, even public ones, shut up. In the sort of modern theory of this is, you need two teams, communications and lawyers. And but sometimes they clash. So let's talk about Hunter Biden's laptop in slightly more pointy-headed but very interesting legal terms. This laptop gets dropped off at a repair place to get repaired and then doesn't get picked up. And really weird, mysterious things happen, but I think basically, and one of the guys whom Abby Lowell attacks yesterday is the owner there who improperly snoops on it and then begins disseminating messages. The whole thing's a little bit bizarre and crazy. It's also in the dead center of the lost days of Hunter Biden, who's totally addicted to drugs at this point. He's also doing a firearms offense involving a gun in a dumpster, and he is just a human roadkill. Now, he says he doesn't remember if he dropped off this laptop. And there's so here's the interesting legal point. Even as Abby Lowell is going after Rudy Giuliani and others for violations of computer crimes that make it against the law to hack in or steal other people's information, which they did. He is simultaneously trying to stay completely agnostic on whether this is even his laptop at all. And the reason is, it's going to be damnably difficult from a legal point of view for prosecutors to use these emails that are in the laptop because first, they have to establish, probably beyond a reasonable doubt, at least by preponderance under evidence rules, that it is his laptop. And second, that those are his messages, because it's very clear that there are, some things that opponents say are his, but others, many more, in fact, by percentage, that opponents acknowledge are not his. So you want to use a particular message, and you're the prosecutor. You're going to have to show it's his laptop. You're going to have to show this message is his. You may have to show chain of custody, that nobody has messed with it, as just a flat out evidentiary matter. It's got a lot of hoops you have to go through. They are hard hoops. And so if you read Abby Lowell's letters carefully, even as they're assailing Giuliani and company for stealing somebody's emails. They're being very squirrely and not admitting that it is his laptop, and Hunter Biden is seconding that in the public eye. He is studiously avoiding saying it's his laptop, saying, I don't remember dropping it off, my big drug time, etc. So this is a very good example of the exquisitely complicated overlap and interlinkage between the political side, which he's now decided to take an aggressive stance toward his adversaries on, and the eventual legal side, the number one lookout to not wind up down the line in jail, including from anything that happens in these series of hearings beginning February 8th. So, what a tangled tale. Hunter, himself in such woeful shape when this happens, but then the other people who are involved are quite the picaresque characters that we are familiar with now from Trump days, who are trying to propound any kind of stuff against Hunter, hack into laptops and the like, or lie, say, as Carlson did about his rent. So, there you have it. The advent of the public age of Hunter Biden is nigh, with the first hearing from the House Oversight Committee. So we'll see how much they can, make this dog hunt. It seems like it's long ago. What does it really matter? How does it have to do with the administration? Because that's really their goal. And that'll be the nature of the battle. And in this corner, the House Oversight Committee and the House, but in that corner, a newly aggressive, combative, counterpunching Hunter Biden. So that is the story for now, but it's going to be getting hotter and hotter. And so you can be sure we'll have more to say about it. Until then, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.